This is gonna be pretty wild. Scotty, are you just ready?
Yeah, we are. Is the first one Reputable Merchant?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is a really interesting cycle. Reputable Merchant is hybrid 2 white, hybrid 2 black, hybrid 2 green. For a creature human citizen, it's a 2/2. When this creature enters or dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Let's talk about rules wise how this hybrid works. This is a 3-color gold card. However, you can cast it for 6 red mana if you wanted to. You can cast it for like 6 blue mana, whatever. You can pay 4 mana if you only have 2 of the colors. For example, it's a 4-drop if it's green black, green white, etc. So it's very flexible in its cost. And of course, the dream scenario is if you have full ops on colors on 3, you can drop it as a 3-drop. If you drop it as a 3-drop, which can happen with decent fixing, especially with the filters, it's a good card. You know, this is pretty solid. If you're casting it for 4, it's pretty crap.
It is
It's
very
pretty crap.
bad.
I don't think you need to take these highly. I think that these are planted in the set intentionally weak to help fill out your decks and maybe reward you for
Having really good mana.
being in sort of a mash deck. And sometimes you'll get there and sometimes it's going to feel good. But most of the time, I don't think you want these highly at all. I think this is a D.
Now I gotta say, the filter guys, the devotees, are 1-drops and 2-drops, which you play, and you probably have 2 mana already ready. And then I think it's gonna be a real thing to play this on 3 with the devotees. Now the problem is, the reward is just not there. It's a 3/3 or 2/2 that puts a counter somewhere, and when he dies, he does the same. The reward is kinda not there. What do you give this?
A D.
There's not gonna be any in-color grades on this one, I think, because, well, I mean, it's 3 colors, so it's weird to do it. As it's probably gonna be a little bit hard to just be 3 colors. You're probably gonna be 2 still with a heavy splash, maybe. I'm okay with D as well for this one.
I think the main kicker for all of these cards is going to be that, yes, there are things that can help you cast this on 3, and then it's not even that good. So
yeah, that's the thing. Like you get a reward, but the reward is not that good, and when you don't get the reward, just play commons in any color, right? Because they're really good.
Yep.
That is very weird for me. The kind of nice thing is, as Scotty said, you're not getting power here, because they are not really 3-color cards. You can play them in literally any deck. You're not getting power, but you can always cast them at some point. That's like the power of them, which doesn't sell them for me. They're all, by the way, they're all 3 mana, just so you know. They're all 3 mana or up to 6. Next up, Monastery Messenger. This is a Jeskai one. Blue, red, white. All of them are the same. You can pay 2 instead of any mana. It has flying and vigilance, and it's a 2/3. When this creature enters, put up to 1 target non-creature non-land card from your graveyard on top of your library. Okay, 3 mana, 2/3 flying vigilance that does this would be really good, but again, it's gonna be 3-drop sometimes, a lot of times 4-drop. There are some powerful things that you can put, I guess, some good removal. So I'm maybe a little bit higher on this one. I'm actually gonna be on a D+. Sometimes even 4 mana is not that bad for this.
I'm still on a D. Yeah, I understand you can put some nice things, but I'm still not into this, honestly.
Yeah,
I just want to be doing other stuff in the format.
True.
Gurmag Nightwatch. Hybrid 2 black, hybrid 2 green, hybrid 2 blue. For a creature human ranger, it's a 3/3. When this creature enters, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may put one of those cards back on top, put the rest into your graveyard. So it doesn't even draw a card, sadly. I think this is kind of whack. I also think, yeah, sure, you can get some value. You can get a little bit of selection. You surveil, right? But this is also a. Let me think about this. It is a 3/3 for 3. Casting this on turn 4, it's bad, but not the end of the world. This one's a D+ for me. This one's a D+.
The reward, it's a 3/3. Like for 3 mana, it's nice. But it's I guess a D plus seems fine. Not the end of the world if you play it for 4. But again, I feel like they're all gonna be Ds because it feels like the commons in monocolored are better than that. That's the problem. Next up, Reigning Victor. This one is a red, white, black one. It's a 3/3, it has mobilize 1. When this creature enters, target creature gets +1/+0 and gains indestructible until end of turn. This one is a little bit weird one. I think it has the best effects. But the problem is that it is good when you're aggressive. And that's where you maybe don't really want to play it. Also, if these were kind of made to be 4-drops or 5-drops, I think that would make them a lot stronger to have better stats. Because that's kind of where it's easier to have this mana. These maybe are the worst colors to mana fix, I agree. So, the best effect, but in the wrong colors, I'm gonna be on a D because of that one. But I can see this being higher if it's easy to get it and fix it.
This is kind of a consistent theme too with Mardu. They clearly have given the Mardu gold cards a more powerful effect in the cycles. For example, I think the Monument is really good, right? The Mardu Monument, but it's probably the color that least cares about not developing on turn 2. So I'm still giving this a D plus. I do think it's solid.
I give it D plus
It is a well. Pretty. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's a good.
Like
yeah. This is okay as a 4-drop.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay as a 4-drop, which is, to be honest, as a 4-drop in your 3-color Mardu deck is very consistent.
Yeah, very.
That's like easy to cast. That's easy to cast.
Yeah, actually, let's give it a C. I'm gonna go to C- for this one. I'm kind of sold because I'm okay with this as a 4-drop, but if it can be played as a 3-drop, even to double spell on turn 5 on 5 mana or something, that's nice. Yeah, I'm on a C-. I think this is the best one so far.
I think you're right. I'll go up with you. Teamer Tawny back. Hybrid 2 green, hybrid 2 blue, hybrid 2 red for a 4/3 beast. When this creature enters, draw a card, then discard a card. This one, I kind of don't hate as a 4-drop. It's like okay. It's okay. I do think that this one is on par with the last one in colors that actually kind of sort of fix, and I think there's a lot decent going for this. I do think it's a weaker effect. This is a weaker effect than the Mardu one, but I do think that these colors are more conducive for fixing. I mean, it's tangential to green.
And you care about renew. You care about discarding more in these colors.
I'm kind of okay with this. I think this one is a C. I think this one's a C.
I'm okay with C. This seems fine. Okay, not broken, but okay. Okay. Now we get to the better stuff. Not the first one. We get to the better stuff on uncommon level. Just a second. Let me just see if we can get them to be. Okay, go with the numbers, Cody.
Go with the numbers? What do you mean?
Yeah.
By set number, by sort by number.
Sort by number, yes.
So the first one's Hardened Tactician.
Yeah, so we can have like the same multicolored cards of the same guild or wedge. So you can have them. The first one, sort by number, the first one is Hardened Tactician then. Yeah. I can read it. Did you get the correct sorting?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hardened Tactician for 1 and a white and a black, it's a 2/4. That has an ability. For 1, sacrifice a token, draw a card. I love this. That's fun with Mobilize. That is really nice with Endure. But with Mobilize, let's go. That's beautiful. I love this. I'm actually on a B- for this one.
Yeah, me too. Solid body, honestly.
Yeah.
Totally fine. B-. We do in colors for these or what? Or do you want to do in colors at all?
Let's not do in colors at all. There's
because it's a 3-color set.
Yeah, 3-color set. Let's not do it.
Okay. B-. Next card is Marshal of the Lost. It's a 2 white, black, 4 mana total for a 3/3 Orc Warrior with Death Touch. Whenever you attack, target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of attacking creatures. So a Death Touch means it can trade up, which is lovely, but this doesn't have to attack in order for you to get its effect.
Stop saying trade up
You
on
can
a 4
stack these
drops, man.
triggers.
Like, stop doing that. Like, what? He's gonna trade with a 6 drop that makes 2
Yeah, I mean,
bodies?
if you have to.
It's not gonna
Awesome.
trade up. 4 drops are not gonna trade up with that touch. It just trades with anything, I guess, but it's a 4 drop.
Yeah, it trades with anything. It's fine. It means that I'm not
Trades
as
up.
sad about a 4 mana 3/3. It means I'm not as sad about a 4 mana 3/3. Hey, your opponent could play a 4 mana 4/4 and then you can trade with it. It's fine.
It's not
It's
trade
like
up, but yeah.
that's relevant.
It trades with anything. That's that touch.
It's a good keyword.
It is. But it
Anyway,
doesn't trade up.
You can stack the triggers. All right, Lola wants to argue about Babby things here, but
Yeah.
you can stack the triggers. You can stack the triggers so that this goes off after your mobilize stuff goes off. So you're
Yeah.
buffing. It does work with mobilize if you stack it. Good effect. Good effect. It's very, very nice. Manipulates combat, makes it very difficult for your opponents to block things that they want to block. So I think this is very good. I also think this is B-.
Yeah, this is great. I'm also gonna be minus. I mean, this just got a little bit lower grade because they're multicolored cards for me, but they're really good. This is really good if you're attacking. Like, and still you can trade. It's 3/3 Death Touch, not a great body for 4, but with this effect, this is. Oh my god! Attack with like 2 mobilized things, man. That's a huge ass attack all of a sudden. That's even as a splash in like Mardu. If you have a 1/3 with mobilize 1, just attack with that one, and that thing all of a sudden is a 3/5 menace. 2 drop, okay. Purging Stormbrood. Okay, we have this cycle that we didn't talk about. Cycle of dragons, uncommon dragons. We talked about there is 1 common dragon per color and colorless, and then we have uncommon dragons which are in 1 color, but they also have an omen in a different color. Now, this has to be said. The only color pairs in here, the only multicolor cards that you are gonna see in this set, they're not all 10. Not all 10 are supported. So it is a 3-color set, yes, but for 2 color pairs, only 5 archetypes are supported. And these archetypes are the ones that are not touching each other. That's the enemy color pairs. They're enemy color pairs. So you have white, blue, black, red, green. If the colors are not touching themselves, it means oh my god. It means that they're enemy color pairs. Okay? So white, blue, black means white and black are apart by 1 color, so they are supported. So white blue is never gonna be supported, white green is not gonna be supported. So just keep that in mind. That is very, very important for building your deck. First dragon, 5 mana 4/4, flying, ward, pay 2 life. When this creature enters, remove all counters from up to 1 target creature. And it has an omen for 1 and a white. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink and hexproof until end of turn. I think basically all of these are very, very, very good. We're gonna see more of them soon. This can be just played in a white deck, white base deck, and it's a good streak. +2/+2 lifelink hexproof is nice. It's really nice. Black 5 mana 4/4 flying dragon with ward pay 2 is pretty nice as well, I think, because counters are a thing in this set. Having both of these to choose from make this into a great card, and I'm just gonna give it a B.
Yeah, strong. I'm gonna B-, but I don't disagree with anything that you said.
Actually, no, B seems fine. B seems fine. Like big body, also a trick if you need it.
Really good. Next one is Effortless Master. 2 blue-red for a creature Orc Monk. That's a 4/3. Vigilance Menace. When this creature enters with 2 +1/+1 counters on it if you've cast 2 or more spells this turn. That can get pretty dang large. How easy is it to double spell with Effortless Master as your second card being a 4-drop? Not super duper easy, I think. As much as the set is set up to double spell, and there's, you can point to various amount of cards that this would work in tandem with. I don't think it's that free to get the +2/+1/+1 counters. That being said, if you do get it, obviously it's fairly good. If you don't get it, it's fine. It's fine. I'm less high on this. I'm gonna see.
I'm on a D plus because basically every 4-drop that is common seems better to me. Why take this? They just all seem better.
Fair.
Glacial Dragon Hunt for blue and a red. Draw a card, sorcery. Draw a card, and you may discard a card. When you discard a non-land card this way, this thing deals 3 damage to target creature. You can also harmonize for 4 and a blue and a red. I don't know. When I'm looting, I probably don't want to discard 2 cards that are not lands. But it's nice that you can loot again for harmonize. But let's be real. When you harmonize this, you're going to be looting a land. Most of the time. This feels like crap. I'm on a D. What do you think, Scotty?
Given the density of harmonized stuff, I don't think it's unreasonable to deal 3 damage with consistency.
Oh, you may discard a card. Scotty, you may discard a card. You don't have to discard. Oh, you don't have to discard a card. Did you know that?
Oh, wow. Oh, wait, that's big difference. You can just use this as 2 mana draw a card.
That's huge. That is huge. That's completely different. Yeah.
Oh.
It's not deal 3 with flashback because
that is much better.
I mean, you gotta loot a non-land card. What do you mean? I wouldn't worry about looting aspect. You gotta worry about looting aspect. Are you gonna loot something that you want to play? But you can just draw a card and then later draw a card. Okay.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna see.
I'm gonna see. Yeah.
Yeah, they got us.
Yeah, thank you, Tom Turbo, because you don't have to loot. That is so huge. It'll be garbage, I think. Okay. Nice card. You have the. It's maybe even better than a C. I kind of like the card a lot now. I'm on a C plus, man.
Okay.
I like this a lot. Also, a lot of things have 3 toughness. Like really good creatures have 3 toughness. 4-drops.
Does that improve your opinion about that Artifact Destroyer instant card for 3 mana? Or is it because it costs 3 mana that you hate it?
No, I don't care about it.
Okay.
Because that's the only thing it can do.
Runescale Stormbrood, 3 and a red, 4 mana for a 2/4 flying dragon. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell or dragon spell, this creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Chilling Screech, 1 and a blue for an instant omen. Counter target spell with mana value 2 or less. The nice thing about this is the curve. The curve is actually quite nice here. However, it's only the curve when you're on the play. Actually, to be honest, it's a huge difference not being able to counter a 3-drop with your 2-drop counter spell. That actually sucks.
It sucks.
That spell sucks.
Yeah,
that sucks a lot. That's horrible. That's horrible hot garbage. Wow, that's so disappointing.
Yeah, disappointing.
I was kind of into the idea of a counter spell on 2 and then a dragon on 3, but the fact that you miss a normal scenario for a 2 mana counter spell.
The cool thing is you can counter. You can counter dragon omens, right?
Yeah, you can counter dragon omens. I can actually legitimately see this card being brought in when you're on the play, because like 2-drop counter into a dragon, or like not into, but if it doesn't happen, into a dragon is quite nice. This on its own, it's fine. It's fine. Like you harmonize, you can double trigger this with your other spell hit in the air. This card with that stupid 1 mana +3/+0 in haste, it's really hard. It does hit really, really, really hard with that card. But I'm not taking this particularly highly. I'm taking this at like a C.
I mean, it's pretty good if you're playing like a good amount of non-creature spells, and there are these monuments, right? I think the dragon is pretty good. I'm gonna be on a C plus. Disruptive Stormblood. Oh wait, we're on this one? Okay. Well, that's the number, I guess. For 4 and a green, you get a 3/3 flyer. When this creature enters, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment. Well, this one is the opposite. Then we get a Pet Revenge Omen. For 1 and a black, destroy target creature with power 3 or less. A lot of things have power 3 or less. A lot. 2 mana, you're gonna be killing 5 drops sometimes, like a white dragon. So, and if they have enchantment or artifact, that's amazing to get a 3/3 flyer off of it. This one just has... one of these is gonna be really good. Even though this the 2 mana is sorcery, but one of these is gonna be really good. I'm gonna be on a B. What I give this dragon? I'm gonna be on a B minus at least.
Yeah, I'll be on a B minus as well. I think that it's with these off-colored cards, it's actually really easy to just play black, and then maybe there's like a card in your deck that can off wayward cast green, and that's fine. That's fine. I would take this as a mono black card. B minus for me. Next card is Host of the Hereafter. 2 black green for 4 mana for a creature. Sorry, it's a 2/2 zombie warlock. This creature enters with 2+1/+1 counters on it. Whenever this creature or another creature you control dies, if it had counters on it, put its counters on up to 1 target creature you control.
Okay.
So yeah, deceptive. It's actually a 4 mana 4/4. When it trades, it turns something else into 2+1/+1 counters for no mana. Obviously, unless it gets exiled or like tapped down or something. But solid and also affects combat on other cards. You put your +1/+1 counter and a trample counter on another creature. You trade that creature off. That +1/+1 counter and trample counter goes to something else, which is actually quite powerful. Can affect combat in a really, really good way. I think this is very powerful. Good stats on its own. Good effect on its own. I think this is a B.
I think this is a B as well. Usually, I think there's gonna be a good amount of people that played for a while that gonna rate this kind of low, because whenever you have this effect, it's not that great. Because it's usually, I don't know, in Strixhaven it was a 2 this effect, but only on itself. But it was a 2/2 detacher. That's it. 0/0 with 2 counters, and that means that never attacks. It just doesn't attack. If you attack with it, opponent destroys you with their 4-drop. This thing is a 4/4. It attacks well. And it works with anything else, and there's a ton of counters in this set. Like, everything else becomes better that has counters. But this attacks and blocks. So you don't have to just block with it because it's a 2/2 detach or something like that. You can just attack, and if it trades, that's great. So I love this. B. Love this card. Next up, Stalwart Successor for 1 black and green. That's 3 mana. It's a 3/2 menace. Creature with whenever 1 or more counters are put on a creature you control, if it's the first time counters have been put on that creature this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. So any counters are gonna just give one extra counter for 1 time for each creature. You put a lifelink counter, you get a +1/+1. 3 mana 3/2 menace is fine. This set has a lot of counters. The problem is not the greatest 3-drop. Like 3 mana 3/2 menace, nothing special. But I can see this just being a B minus with the amount of counters that this set has. Just 2 drops getting counters and so on. Yeah, I really like it.
B minus. So the multicolored section is pretty big.
Yeah.
So I was just finding cards. So the next one is Quarry Mountain Stalwart. 1 red, white, 3 mana for a 3/3 human monk with Flurry. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, this creature deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. Gosh, these Flurry cards. I hope Flurry is a lot better than we think it is, because the effect is good, but how often are you going to do the effect? It seems pretty difficult to do the effect, and if you don't do it, it's a 3 mana 3/3. I think you have to fundamentally build these decks much different than your normal limited deck. Because if you're going this card into a 4-drop, you're going to feel pretty bad. Your curve probably wants to be really low, really focused on double spelling, maybe like stock up on harmonize stuff so you can like consistently do it every turn. And if you can do that, it's good. If you can't, which I'm kind of betting it's going to be kind of hard, it's quite bad. So I'm gonna give this a C minus.
The problem is 0 common payoffs. So if you had like a common payoff, you could play like 2 or 3, 4 of those, and then enhance it with uncommon payoffs. Yeah, so C minus seems fine. It's not very good. Can you read the next one or?
Yeah, Frontline Rush. Red, white. For 2 mana instant, choose one. Create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Or target creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. Heck yeah, this is really good at the 2-drop slot. So yeah, 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens would be nothing too special in a normal set. I do think that holds significantly more value in this set, but also the modality of having a game finishing combat trick upon your large mobilized attack, upon your go wide attack, is very strong. Very, very strong. I think this is a B minus. Big fan of frontline rushing. How do you think Lola lives in that utter darkness all the time? It must get like I don't know how good it is for your psyche to just live with all the lights off constantly. It can't be good for the dog either. Maybe that's why he's so pale, because he just never gets sunlight ever, or even light from light fixtures. Is that why he has to wear glasses? But I guess it wouldn't really glasses like enhance. Oh my gosh, he's disappearing.
1 second, 1 second.
Oh, he's gone forever. Dude, we're alone.
Didn't give her that for 5 days. So what do I give this?
B minus.
Okay with B minus. Like this could make, if it mobilized, this could make you win the game a good amount of times. Like I can see this being a huge payoff for just winning the game. Like you have like 7 creatures. I don't think it's that hard that it's gonna be that sometimes. And just 7 creatures +7/+7. So that's really nice. Inmo Storm Brood. For 5 and a white, it's a 5/4. And when this creature enters, you gain 5 life. That's enough. That's enough. That's like more than any 6-drop usually gives. It's also a 5/4 flyer, which can like end the game. And it gets you back in the game very nicely. Everybody played with Ketradon. Same thing here. Probably better. But it also has another really good omen for 1 and a red. Sorcery. Charring Bite deals 5 damage to target creature without flying. So sure, you're not going to be killing dragons, but you're going to be killing basically anything else. Really good on turn 2, 3, 4, 5, and really good on turn 6. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And this is the one you really want to draw later, so nice that Omen shuffles it back. I think this is amazing. I'm just going to go on a B.
This card's nuts. This is definitely a B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really 2 for 1, so not a B plus yet, but really nice.
But super good all around in either color, to be honest, individually. Twin Maw, Storm. Okay. Next card is Auroral Procession. Green, blue for an instant. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Alright. Okay. Yeah, at an instant. So which is usually not what you see on these effects. Like you can return a removal spell with flexibility. Basically, you can hold up different types of removal, I guess, or even Snakes can avail from your graveyard at instant speed. You just pass the turn. That's my favorite part about this card, the fact that it's an instant and that works with your other instants. So, for example, if you have 3 mana, you can pass with Snakeskin Veil and like maybe I don't know, like some other removal spell in your bin, and then you can have the flexibility of casting either one. I think it's bad. I think it's a D+.
I think it's so bad. It's not a D+. Any one of your cards goes 2 more now, so I'm just gonna be on a. I'm gonna be on a D- for this one, man. Yeah, you are milling, so that's nice. It is any card, I guess. Maybe there's some combo to do it, but no, thank you. D-, I can see this. It's also double color, so you can't pick it super highly. I don't see it. I don't see it. Kishla Skimmer for green and a blue again. It's a 2/2 flyer. Whenever a card leaves your graveyard during your turn, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Now that's a payoff. Now that's a wild payoff. I'm on a B for this one. It also doesn't die. So you want this to survive, but it's a 2/2 flyer. That's already great. So it's gonna survive while attacking. That's a B. Beautiful.
B for beautiful. Yep. That's an engine. That's a very strong engine on, frankly speaking, a decent amount of pressure. B as well. Whirling Stormbrood, 4 and a blue for 5 mana for a 4/3 flash flying dragon. You may cast sorcery spells and dragon spells as though they had flash. Dynamic Soar, 2 and a green. For a sorcery omen, put 3+1/+1 counters on target creature you control. This one's weird. This one's very strange and a little disjointed for me. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad. It's funny because this is the kind of the first card that actually wants more of itself. Because then all of a sudden your dynamic soar is a combat trick, like a reasonable combat trick. But individually, the pieces are not that exciting. I'm not that excited about a 5 mana 4/3 flash that makes sorceries and dragons flash, and I'm not that excited about soaring dynamically. I overall think this is a C, unless there's something else that I'm missing.
What do you give it in the end?
A C.
Like, make it, it's decent body. Decent, but not great. But making sorceries into instants is very powerful. Same for dragons. Like, and I guess none of this is that great, I guess. But I'm still gonna be on a C plus because one of these is gonna be good for you, right? Like, one of this is gonna be good for you. And a lot of times, like, casting these casting some sorceries in instant speed can mess up sorceries are sorceries for a reason. I think it's gonna be better than what it looks. I'm okay C plus, but I can see it even being better, maybe. And that's about it for the color pairs, right? We got Simic, we got Boros, we got Golgari, we got Izzet, and Orzhov. Those are the color pairs, and we are moving back into 3 color pairs. I guess wedges. So the first one is gonna be Armament Dragon. For 3 and a white and a black and a green, it's a 3/4 flyer. But when it enters, distribute 3+1/+1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures you control. So you can just put it on this creature. It can be a 6/7 flyer. Yep. But the thing is, you're probably not gonna do that. It never fizzles the ability, right? It's just you're gonna have some creatures where you want counters on them. And the fact that you can distribute them any way you want is pretty huge. Now, this is 3 color. In a 3 color set though, so it's a little bit harder maybe to play. But this is pretty powerful, I would say. And this is the first card that we got as a 3 color card, so we're on to the uncommons. It's gotta be said that this is always gonna be a splash. It's not that easy to just play a 3 color deck, even in this set, I think. But I think it's gonna be very doable in this one. So I like it a lot. But being a 3 color, I think I just give it a C+. What do you think?
Powerful effect. C+ is where I would land as well.
Because it's 3 colors, right?
But, yeah. I do think that it's going to be relatively consistent, though, by turn 6. And it has a good effect for turn 6. So I'm in. Treekin Severance. Hybrid 2 white, hybrid 2 black, hybrid 2 green. For an instant, exile target permanent with mana value 3 or greater. This one I'm kind of into. I think this is fine. The flexibility of the casting costs. There's going to be some decks, for example, even if I am only touching green, where I'm like, yeah, I desperately need interaction, so I'll take a really bad 5 mana exile spell. Okay. That's like, okay. Sometimes you get desperate. This is pretty nice to take early, specifically because of the flexibility of that its fail case is passable, I think. And of course, it just, scales up from there. So I think this is a B-.
Yeah, this thing for 4 is Completely fine and easy to play like in so many color pairs. So I'm gonna be on a B- as well. Kirimish Rhino, okay, the baby rhino. For white, black, green, it's a 3/4 trampler. That when it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So you gotta be again in 3 colors. It really depends how fast. Like 3 drops get worse in these 3 colors. 5 drops, 6 drops are better because you can just they become more powerful because of the 3 color cost, and they're easier to cast on that turn. Like this is it's gonna be extremely hard to cast on turn 3. So how much? What if I'm playing this on turn 4? 3 for the drains for 2. With trample, it's not a Pegdal Terror at all. So I'm really not that high on this one. I'm gonna be on a C, but it gets better on your fixing. Let's C as a start.
Skirmish Rhino, sorry. This is Jeskai Brushmaster for 1 blue, red, white for a 2/4 Orc Monk with double strike and prowess. This one is extremely difficult to block. I think that the 4-drop slot is very competitive, and this one keeps up fine. It keeps up fine. You know, I don't think this is busted by any means. I do think that this is a powerful effect. It's a powerful effect. I mean, like, prowess means that it's extremely hard to block this. And I do think that this set is more conducive of casting multiple spells, especially because that's supposed to be the Jeskai thing, than you know, your average set. So I think this is a C plus with a big tax on being multicolored. C plus.
Yeah, it's a pretty good 4, but then again, I think you gotta pick it pretty late when you know that you're Jeskai. So I'm gonna actually start it as a C as well. But it is pretty good. This one is good. This one is good. But it is just one body for 4 in 3 colors. So I can see it being much worse. Your mana needs to be really good for this one. Because again, it's gonna stay in your for long. But I think the next one is better. Jeskai Shrine Keeper for 2 and a blue and a red and a white. It's a 3/3 flying with haste. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Now 3/3 is pretty weak against other dragons. But if they don't have it, if it can just draw 1 card, gain 1 life, that's good. If you can do it multiple times, that's even better. So you need to get through, that's the problem. But I still think that's a big problem actually. And the 2 mana removal spells kill it, a lot of them. Do I give it a C plus or a C? What do you think? C?
I go to C plus.
C plus? I can see it
I'm
being
in.
a C.
The body is the problem, but I do think that hasters are quite easy to slide in there.
Okay, C plus seems fine. By the way, just because there are only 5 color pairs, it is easier to start, for example, in white black, and then see if you're green or red. Or if you start in white red again, you can see if you're black or blue. So there are like 5 color pairs are easier to start with and see where you're going, like what you're gonna be splashing for. Maybe both. Like you can splash for both. That's easier. That's gonna be interesting. Okay, next up.
Riverwheel Sweep, hybrid 2 blue, hybrid 2 red, hybrid 2 white. For a sorcery, tap target creature, put 3 stun counters on it. Exile the top 2 cards of your library, choose one of them until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. Yeah, this is a weird card. 3 stun counters is a long time. It is a long time to be stunning something. Ironically, you're also giving your opponent counters, but being able to choose between the top 2 cards is a reasonable impulse. It's a reasonable replacement effect, but it's expensive, you know? It's expensive to be using this for no actual board development and no actual card advantage. You're kind of just doing a hedge of both, which I'm not really into, especially taxed on the fact that it's somewhat inconsistent to cast. Like, I'm actually really unhappy because, rather, I think mana efficiency matters a lot for this card, a lot. And the fact that the bail out in casting hybrid costs is less mana efficiency, I'm really not into. So I think this one's kind of bad. I think it's a D plus.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, starting for 3 turns is a lot.
It's a lot of turns.
Yeah. And then you do it does replace itself, right? It does replace itself. I can be on a D plus, sure. For 4 mana, it's a little bit too much, probably. Carol Goalkeeper for 1 black, we are into Sultai. 1 black, green, and blue. The flying 3/3 for 4 mana. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard during your turn, create a treasure token. Not bad to cast the rest of the spells. And it can renew for 2 black, green, and blue. That's 5 in total. Exile this card from your graveyard. Put 2 +1/+1 counters and a flying counter on target creature. Activate on only a sorcery. Okay, I'm okay with this one. This one has 2, like, the first side is nice, but the second side is really nice as well, because when it dies, you're just gonna do this. So, kind of like this. I can see this being a C+, because it is a bit hard to cast, so you gotta wait until you pick it, so C+.
There's
Haha.
it's really good. It's because both sides are very powerful. I think you cannot sleep on jump
I
a
think
creature.
the first card
It's
is
so strong.
the first part is pretty weak because like it's hard to cast 3/3.
Yeah,
Very hard to
yeah.
cast 3/3.
It really depends on how hard is very hard, right? I think. I don't care as much about the treasures. I don't care about the body as much. I do think that the renew is the best part about the card. But it's also an expensive renew. I'll join you at C plus.
Another
I think I'm
one.
higher on the card though, but I'll join you at C plus. Okay, so lie in wait. Black, green, blue for a sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Lie in wait deals damage equal to that card's power to target creature. This is pretty good. This was pretty strong. So it's easy to think about back for more, I think, which fought a creature. This is better. This is better. Oh, wait. No, sorry. It doesn't come into play. I don't know why I thought it came into play. That'd be extremely busted. This is more like the Pyretic Rebirth, right? The Rakdos card.
Yeah.
Which was also very strong. In my opinion. I think this card is good. I think this is even worth a splash to get a little bit of value, be able to answer something. And in these colors, you want to be milling yourself anyway. So I think this is a B minus.
I think even with 3 colors, this is a B minus. This is a great 2 for 1. Good for the board. You can double spell with it in later turns. It's a late game card, but you have a lot of mill in these colors, so that's nice. Not a lot, but you have enough mill, especially with green. Green definitely has enough mill. Yeah, you play green, this is great. And you're gonna, if green is your base, hopefully. And the last Sultai card is Rakshasha Bargain for 6 colorless or black, green, blue, and you can move it around. Instant, look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. So it's instant, so that's nice. Graveyard, that's nice. 4 mana a lot of times. Stock up, like a weaker stock up, I guess, but stock up was very good. I think this is a good way to gain cards, and there's not that much value. So I think it's fine. So I'm gonna give it a C+.
Yep, C plus as well. For a card that doesn't affect the board, that's a high bar to clear, but this one kind of gets there.
Yeah,
good value all the way around. Sometimes it's just going to feel like you drew 3 cards as well. Actually, a fair amount of the time, I think.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
Nice. This is a nice one. It starts with an R. There we go. C plus.
We're on to Mardu.
Bone Karen Butcher. 1 red, white, black, 4 mana for a creature demon. That's a 4/4 with mobilize 2. Attacking tokens you control have death touch. This is big impact. If you curve out with this is a lot of damage. You're gonna have your opponent cast this on the other side of the board, and you're gonna be taking some beats. This also technically could have immediate board impact. You play this, you attack. Your tokens now have death touch. Nice. This is a nice card. with the idea that Mardu has maybe a little bit tougher time fixing. Maybe he's not quite as interested in the splash, but considering how powerful it is, I'm going to give this a B minus. It does continue with the theme that the Mardu cards, they clearly know that Mardu is harder to fix with, that Mardu is going to
Yeah,
want to curve out. And so they've made these cards more powerful, clearly. So B minus for me.
it does seem like that. It definitely seems like that. Because yeah, it is pretty powerful. But Mardu is, I think, gonna be a bit aggressive. So it is definitely aggressive decks and fixing. You gotta play tap lands. You gotta have things in your hand. But this one gets there. I agree. And especially in white, you get a 2/2. That's a token from your dragon. That's your 2-drop. You get uncommon 2/2/2s for 4 mana. Those are tokens as well. You also have mobilize and endure. So there's like so many things just in white. I can see this being a B minus as well. And this has mobilize. Defibrillating current for red, white, black. You can play 2 instead of any of those. It deals 4 sorcery. It deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain 2 life. That's good for any 2-color pair. Like 4 mana, that's good for 4 mana, I think. 4 damage and gain 2 life. I like this a lot. I'm gonna B minus. Like 3 mana, amazing, but sorcery speed, remember? But even for 4, I like it. I like it. That's 2 life is a lot. What do you think?
I have the same grade, but I think I'm a little bit lower. Sorcery hurts a lot to the point
It is
where
a lot.
I think it would be kind of medium if it were 4 mana, which it is most. I'm going C plus actually.
I think I'm actually gonna go on a C plus as well because it's gonna be
Yeah.
4 mana a lot of times and it doesn't kill anything. So
Yeah.
C plus seems fine. But it is pretty good. It's pretty good. Easy to pick, easy to play.
Sonic Shrieker, 2 red, white, black for a creature dragon that's a 4/4 with flying. When this creature enters, it deals 2 damage to any target and you gain 2 life. If a player is dealt damage this way, they discard a card. Yeah, these Mardu golds are powerful. These
Yeah.
Mardu golds are powerful. Um, this one is well worth the splash. Evasive, puts pressure on, can even hit your opponent's face if you really need to, helps racing because it gains life and takes out like a small attacker.
It always removes the
Lovely.
card, right? Even if
Yeah.
they kill their face, it removes the card.
Yep. Great. Like I'm super happy if they have like 1 or 2 cards, just hit them in the face. Brilliant. This is a B for me.
I gotta go on a B minus because it is Mardu, which is I think gonna be pretty aggressive. So B minus. Any other color pair, I would give it a much higher grade. We're done with Mardu. On to Teamer. Dragonclaw Strike for a green, blue, red. You can pay 2 instead of any of those. It's a sorcery. Double sorcery, very important. Double the power and toughness of target creature you control until end of turn. Then it fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. Okay, like it costs so much for what it does. And it's conditional, so removal is gonna destroy it. It's really gonna destroy it because you paid so much mana. But doubling the power and toughness is pretty huge. It's like the last 2 months I've been coughing and shit, a month and a half or something. It's been bad, but now it's better. I'm drinking an antihistamine, so it's probably an allergy then. So I gotta give it a C because it can fuck up the opponent when you have trample or something. So I'm gonna go with a C.
This has such a high upside.
Such a high upside.
I'm a sucker and a believer, so I'll go C plus.
But I'm
It's
afraid.
extremely clunky. Like these 4 mana conditional green removal spells are just not doing it anymore. But it could be so much damage. Your opponent has to have their shields up. They have to have their guard open. They can't just leave back a 1/1 and expect it to chump your 5/5, you know? Because they could just be taking 10. So I think there's a lot of bursts.
There is some trample.
Yeah, this is
So you can like your 3/3 with trample can like kill something, and now it's 6 and you're winning the race all of a sudden.
I mean it's a lot of damage. It's a lot of upside. But with a lot of risk, so appropriate. Karakik, Guardian. Karakik, Guardian. 3
Yeah.
green, blue, red, 6 mana total for a 6/5 dragon with flying, vigilance, and trample. This creature has hexproof if it hasn't dealt damage yet. I mean, this is a finisher. It's pretty dang good at finishing. Vigilance on a large flyer. Be fairly nice at taking over a game, and it's a little hard to get tempoed without first attacking, right? Like as a blocker, let's imagine being a blocker here, right? Your opponent can never untap, remove this, attack you back because it has hexproof, right? So that's very nice. That's actually pretty nice at helping you stabilize. It will at least eat something or trade off with something, which is a thumbs up for this card. And if you're pressuring your opponent can't do anything about it until they either throw something in front of it or they take 6. I do think this is a pretty good finisher. I'm taking this at like a C+.
Oh man, I like this. And Dragon Synergies, I'm actually gonna be on a B- for this one. I'm gonna be on a B- for this one. I think 5 toughness is very good in this set. I think that there's just a lot of creatures that a lot of creatures have 4 power. A lot of them. So 5 seems like really blocks most. I mean, the 7/7 common in green is kind of the with reach is fucking this up, but it's the fact that it always blocks is huge. It's just that is such a big deal. Let's go B-. Let's go B-.
I mean, okay, like as a callback, this was literally a rare in M20, right? In M21 or
But
whatever.
it was better, like 5-drop or something.
No, it was a 6-drop.
What was the name of the card?
Palladia's Moor. Legendary Naya Dragon. It just got downshifted. I think it was a 6/6, that card, I think. Could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, this
it was a 6/6.
power creep.
It was a 6/6.
Yeah, power creep.
It was a
good card though, really good card.
It was really good. Man, yeah, I really like this one. Can see it being even better. Mammoth below for 2 and a green and a blue and a red. Back to original Tarkir, but a little bit better. You create a 5/5 green elephant creature token. And you can harmonize for 5 green, red, and blue. And make another one. 5 mana 5/5, and you're gonna get another 5/5. You can tap this one and pay 3. I'm into this. I'm very into this. How into this? C+, I think. You? Oh, if you mill it, it's so nice.
Yeah, it's pretty dang nice. This is C+ for me as well. Good card.
Good card. Good card. Oh, wait. We're done with the commons and uncommons, right?
Does that mean we're on to the rares?
Yeah, let's go. I guess I'm gonna walk her much later then. Okay, gotta give her something for the reward. Maybe I just walk her a little bit. Yeah, we also go with the number for the rares to have the colors set up in a good way. I'm thinking like I want to finish. We can just finish it. Man, we are so good. How are we so fast? Are there less cards in this set? We're crazy, and it's 3 color set. What? We just have the rares and mythics to go. I mean, there is a good amount of them, but there's a good amount of them. But, wow. How are we so good? Maybe 20 tier lists that we did and 20 set reviews make us better.
Well, spending enough time together, our opinions start to homogenize, and then we fight less, which reduces the quality of our content. So,
yeah, nah, I don't know. Like, I think maybe it's one part is maybe me. When we have a different grade, I fight less. I'm more like, let's fight a little bit, and then let's fight after we play the set. Who was right? Before I was like, you cannot give this bomb grade. You cannot give it as a C+ grade. How can you do that? How can you do this? Yeah, is that maybe part of it?
yeah, clip it. Lola's admitting that the long set reviews were entirely his fault.
No.
He just admitted it.
70% my fault. That's a lot. All right.
Baron Step
I can hear you.
2. white black for a 4-mana enchantment. As this enchantment enters, choose Abzan or Mardu. Abzan at the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Mardu at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died under your control this turn, each opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. Yeah, this is strong. Strong. It does require you to have a board in either scenario, unfortunately. I don't actually think that the 4-mana sacrifice mode is good. I am more interested in the +1/+1 counter mode, distributing amongst all your stuff, buffing your board every turn. Unfortunately, it doesn't, like untap your creatures or anything like that, but it will add a decent amount of stats and continue to buff your board every turn. So I mostly think the Opson one is good. I don't think the Mardu one is super great. I understand it works with like, mobilize and stuff, but I think this is a B plus.
I think that the Mardu part is very powerful, the sacrificing, because you have mobilize, right?
Yes, but it's once a turn, right?
Yeah, it's once a turn. But I mean,
Yep.
they sack one, sure, for 4, that's not great, but I mean, if you know you're gonna be attacking with a mobilized creature every turn, I mean, you know one of their creatures is dying for sure, whether they block or not. Like, usually the Mardu one would be horrible, but in this set, actually pretty freaking decent. Like, thank God, what is the name of the 5-mana enchantment that opponents from foundations,
Dictate of Erebos.
Yeah, Dictate of Erebos. Like, that would be completely broken with mobilize. Like, your creatures, one's dying, everything they have dies. So that's why this is like weaker. But I'm very happy with Mardu as well. I think it's crazy. Like a B minus at least, B plus at least, but could be an A minus. But let's give it a B plus for now. Can you read the next one? I'm just doing one thing.
Frostcliff Siege, 1 blue-red for an 3-mana enchantment. As this enchantment enters, choose Jeskai or Teamer. Jeskai, whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Teamer, creatures you control have get +1/+0 and have trample and haste. Very interesting card. In this one, I'm almost a little bit more interested in Teamer because that's like a pretty stinking strong effect, especially if you're mobilizing. Although mobilize with like blue is non-existent, but with red it certainly exists, like common 2-drop, etc. But it's relatively cheap to plop down. If you have an evasive game plan, you can sort of just use this as a card advantage tool. But in most other scenarios, you can just use this as a lot of damage. I do think this is worse, significantly, than the Orzhov one. But I do think it's quite powerful. I have this one at a B.
On a just straight up B?
Just straight up a B.
Yeah, it's just 3 mana, right? So, and creatures you control have +1/+0 trample haste. Yeah, one of these is gonna be great.
Haste is a super strong T-word.
Yeah, trample haste is and +1/+0 is super strong all around. Yeah, I'm gonna B as well. I think this is great. Even though, like, because you're always gonna want one of these is gonna be good, but you don't need to attack with both, right? You can maybe splash this in like your in a teamer deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that if we're talking about like aggro, it's a really, really good effect, but you are skipping turn 3. You're skipping turn 3 to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is not a huge cost, but it's certainly a cost.
I think it does enough. And with mobilize as well. Please read the next one as well. Please.
Okay. This is Hollowmurk Siege. Black-green. 2-mana enchantment. As this enchantment enters, choose Sultai or Abzan. Sultai, whenever a counter is put on a creature you control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Abzan, whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. It gains menace until end of turn. Yeah, so this one's like super, super snowbally and annoying. Either you have a decent mass of things that distribute counters, and this just draws you into more things that distribute counters, or if you're attacking, it just makes things so impossible to block for such a cheap cost, right? Larger sizing and distributing +1/+1 counters where you want it.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, 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 very good. And the fact that this is so cheap can be double spelled and slotted into as you're curving out. Lovely. Yeah, this is very, very strong. I think this one is pretty bomby, especially because it's so cheap. I think this one's like an A-.
Yeah, like you can choose if you really want to finish them, that's great. Or if you really want to draw cards with renewal and stuff, like that's great. So I'm still gonna be on a B plus, on a high B plus. I think it's great, but needs help, which is probably is gonna get help. That's nice, but it can be a weird top deck if you're not gonna attack. So B plus, because usually it's gonna be great, but sometimes it's still a 2-drop, right? So bad top 2-drop being a bad top deck, that's fine. In some cases. Wind Craig Siege for 1 red and white. You choose Mardu and Jeskai or Jeskai. Mardu means if a creature attacking. Man, I don't know what's wrong with me. Okay, it's an enchantment, and if you choose Mardu, if a creature attacking causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. And if you choose Jeskai, at the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1. It gains lifelink and haste until end of turn. Huh. 3 mana, every turn 1/1. It is beginning of the upkeep though, so that's fine, I guess. This one is kind of meh, yeah, like trigger ability when you're attacking is gonna be mobilized, sure, but I don't like this one, man. I kind of don't like this one. Well, getting 1/1 every turn, I guess, but not on the turn you play it. I'm down on this. I'm on a C minus.
Yeah, these effects are a little slow for modern Magic. I think getting a 1/1 every turn used to be really, really good in terms of taking over in the late game, but I just don't think it's like that anymore. I think this is a C.
Pointing.
It can buy you a bunch of time, but like, I'm not super enthused about it.
Even though, like, there are some things that trigger on text, like giving +X to a creature while getting more mobilized. It could do some things, but I mean, I think it's better just to play more creatures and stuff most of the time.
Glacierwood Siege, 1 green-blue for an enchantment. As this enchantment enters, choose Temur or Sultai. Temur, whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, target player mills 4 cards. Sultai, you may play lands from your graveyard. Okay, this one I really don't care about. There are going to be decks and situations where you can have this as your win con, but then you have to cast this first, right? So for example, if you're running a bunch of like draw harmonizes, then the order of which you draw these is very, very important. I don't care about Sultai pretty much at all. Pretty much at all. I understand, like, sure, you can put like 3 lands into play over 3 turns, and it's still not a good card. It's like baseline fine, and that takes so many hoops to jump through. So just looking at Temur as a way to mill your opponent out, you still have to draw it, and you still have to cast it. It still has to be on the battlefield as you sort of pop off. That's a ton of hoops to jump through. I'm not into this. This like the cards like this in the past, even like Aether Siphon, are self-contained almost. Yep. Right? They do something on their own. This one does nothing on its own. You have to build your deck around it. You have to draw in the right order, and this is an F to me.
I'm gonna give it a D minus, but it feels like an F. So just as hopes that you can maybe build that deck once, but it's really bad. It's probably an F. Probably just don't play. I agree. Please do the next one.
This is Fellothar, Dawn of the Obzon. White, black, green for a legendary creature human warrior. It's a 3/3 with trample. Whenever Fellothar enters or attacks, you may sacrifice a non-land permanent. When you do, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. It's an interesting card. It's a very interesting card. So when it lands and after it attacks, it can essentially buff your board by +2/+2. Counters, mind you. But you have to sacrifice stuff. You can attack, have the mobilize trigger go off first, and then you don't have to sacrifice as a cost because this is a trigger. So you sacrifice as a trigger as this ability resolves. So you can do this with mobilize stuff. I really do want this initial trigger to do something. That would be lovely. But it's not always that you're gonna have stuff lying around. There's certainly a decent amount of stuff with endure, etc. So I do think this is a pretty good card. I just am taking it as like a C+, even though it has a really high ceiling, because there's a decent amount of hoops to jump through.
And there are monuments, I guess.
Yeah, the monuments are really good to sacrifice.
Did you give it a D+ or a C+?
C+.
I'm not sure about this one. I think it's too much. It's every creature. Oh, this creature as well, I guess. Oh, that's kind of okay. It's so good with monuments, I guess. I'm gonna be on a C for this one, because I don't want... usually, I think when you're playing 3 color cards, you don't want... I want to not have to work to make them great. I just kind of want them to be great. So C, but I can see it going lower than that. But Revival of the Ancestors. For 1 white, black, and green, it's a saga. If you guys forgot about sagas, because we didn't have them, I think, for a bit. When you play it and after your draw step, you put a lore counter on it. Once, and then something triggers, right? If you have 1, the first thing, 2, the second thing, and if you... And after the third one triggers, it gets sacrificed. So... First one, create 3 1/1 white spirit creature tokens. That's 3 creatures. Okay, that's okay. On the next turn, distribute 3 +1/+1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures you control. That's great. You're always gonna have somewhere to put them. Okay, it can be just a 4/4 and 2 1/1s, 3 2/2s, a 3/3 2/2 and a 1/1. Or put them anywhere else. 3 creatures you can control gain trample and lifelink until end of turn. Okay, this card has it all. It has it all. Multiple bodies. Amazing stats, 6/6 on 3 bodies or even your other creatures, and all of a sudden you never lose a race. I would say this is an A- a bomb.
This card is pretty bomby, A-. A-. Only downside is it might feel a little slow if you top deck it, but it's still extremely strong. Like, what do you want? You get 3 blockers immediately.
And you can chump with that one.
You get 3 blockers, you can chump and then put the counter somewhere else. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Severance Priest, white, black, green for a Jin Cleric. It's a 3/3 with Death Touch. When this creature enters, target opponent reveals the hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. If you do, exile that card. When this creature leaves the battlefield, the exiled card's owner create an XX spirit creature token where X is the mana value of the exiled card. Yeah, so this is a very interesting effect because you can potentially cast this on, well, turn 3 sometimes, but turn 4, turn 5, and you can take an expensive card. You can potentially just accelerate your opponent's board if you're not careful, right?
Yeah.
Which is really bad. which is like really bad. Especially in limited. I understand you can sometimes snipe off like really high value bombs, etc. But you know, like taking your opponent's generic 5-drop to put and then they put a 5/5 into play later is you're not getting ahead. Not really. So I think this effect is actually not that powerful. Sometimes you're going to be happy, right? Taking a relatively super efficient card that has like way better stats than its mana value. For example, you know, Karsi Revenant or something. You're going to feel thrilled. Sometimes taking like tricks and etc. is nice. Things that aren't creatures, but I'm not in love with this. I think this is like a D+.
I think it's pretty bad. Somebody said hitting Ugin is pretty nice with this, but it's not. Then they kill it and they get a 7/7. GG. Yeah, I think it's bad. I'm gonna give this a D, not even a D+. I really don't like this card. This is horrible to trade. So just a D. Yatan Road Watcher for 1 white, black, and green. So Abzan still. It's a 3/3. When this creature enters, if you cast it, mill 4 cards. When you do, return target creature card with 1 value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay. Okay, that's a 2 for 1. That's nice. Kind of hard to cast, but this is nice for Abzan. I'm okay with a C. Plus or C. Sometimes it's not gonna hit though. But most of the times it will, and it's nice to mill in those colors, I guess. I'm okay. I mean, I'm okay with the C+. I think your mana is gonna be good enough to support this.
I think this is going to play out really well. Yeah. Yeah, I'm in. B minus for me. I'm a little higher.
Yeah, I can go to B minus as well. I was thinking about it. B minus, B minus. Now, because I think on 4 you can play it a lot of times, and that would be crazy.
Yeah.
But also things need to trade. But still, it's so much better than getting like a 2-2 or a 3-3, I think.
Flamehold Grappler, blue, red, white. For a human monk, it's a 3/3 with first strike. When this creature enters, copy the next spell you cast this turn when you cast it. You may choose new targets for the copy.
Any spell.
So like yeah, 3/3 first strike on turn 3 is good. It's pretty good. So that's fine. But in order to get value off this card, it's going to be kind of difficult, kind of late game. You can copy creatures with this, right? If you play this first and then play like a 2-drop, you get 2/2 drops. That's quite strong. But that being said, it's not easy. And I think with the multicolor difficulties here, I think this is like a C for me.
Yep, I don't like it actually. Kind of hard to do things with this. I'm gonna be. Pretty first strike is nice, but for these 3 colors, not sure about it. I'm gonna be on a C minus for it. And read the next line, I'm just checking one thing.
Narset Jeskai Waymaster. Blue, red, white. For a legendary creature human monk, it's a 3/4. At the beginning of your end step, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw cards equal to the number of spells you cast this turn. This is an interesting card. I actually think this is pretty dang sick in the top decks. Casting this on turn 4 is whatever, right? It's pretty bad stats wise. If you cast this on turn 3, sure, it's overstated. But you're only using this when you're in that top deck battle, which is like not super duper often. It's going to come up less than I think you'd like it to come up. So for me, this is like a C+.
Yeah, you can play this
It's
like
decent.
2 spells and discard the last card in your hand, draw 2, that's good.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, this is great. I'm gonna be on C plus because 3 colors. But I think it's gonna work very well in this set. You way forward for 2 blue, red, and white, then instant. The next time a source of your choice will deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage. When damage is prevented this way, your way forward deals that much damage to that source's controller, and you draw that many cards. Doesn't affect the board at all. Just draws you cards. As a condition on drawing you cards. Yeah, I hate this. I'm on a D minus. This is almost F. Maybe F? What do you think? F or D minus? It's one of those.
It affects the board the same way a combat trick affects the board. But it's a 5-mana combat trick. D minus for me.
No. Deal damage to you.
Oh, to you. Oh,
Yeah.
that's okay. Those are 2 words. Oh, this card sucks, F.
It's a horrible card, yeah. I don't know if I give it a D minus, but it's 3 colors, man. I'm just gonna play any card draw in the game that's not this. Just an F. You don't play this, yeah. F.
Yeah, I'm off it.
Yeah, I was like combat trick, something red. It was easy to see what you saw wrong.
Yep. Rediscover the Way, blue, red, white, saga. Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom in any order. Chapter 3, whenever you cast a non-creature spell this turn, target creature you control gains double strike until end of turn. This is okay. It's all right. I'm not clamoring to have inconsistency in my card advantage spell. So I'm not super jazzed about this, although I can recognize that it's quite powerful when you do cast it. So it's like a C for me. Middle of the road, but perfectly fine.
It is fine, yeah. You give it a C, right? These 3 colors, though. Draw 2 cards. Really good ones, probably.
I mean, like overall, it's like 3 colors for a bad stock up.
I don't know. I think it's a good stock up, but it's 3 colors, so C seems fine. Fixing is good. Fixing is really good. You're on to Sultai. Please read this one again. I just gotta do one thing and then I'm done with everything.
Awaken the Honored Dead. Black, green, blue for a saga. Chapter 1, destroy target non-land permanent. Chapter 3, mill 3. Sorry, Chapter 2, mill 3 cards. Chapter 3, you may discard a card. When you do, return target creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, this one's good. You know, this one's very nice to cast even later in the game. You just cast it for 3 mana, kill something, get a little bit of value later. Strong. I like this a decent amount. This is a B plus for me. This does a lot.
A B plus.
Yep.
It is 3 color, right? And
Yep. But I'm not super often casting this on turn 3. I mean, it'd be nice if I could, but I'm not super worried about the 3 color clause because it's mostly going to be something reactive to something I need to answer. I'm going to get additional value on top of it.
You kind of don't want to cast this on turn 3 if you can a lot of times. Most of the times.
Yep.
But I don't know. It's not a 2-for-1. You just remove your worst card and get your best creature. Your hand. Milling is nice. Because it's a 3 color, I'm just gonna give it C plus or B minus. It's 3 color. For a 3 color card, just a 1-for-1. I want a C plus.
I can give it a B.
Yeah. Like,
I think it's quite powerful.
when you do return target creature or land. Only that. Okay. Sultai, 1 black, green, and blue. It's a 3/3 with flash. When this creature enters, choose 1. You gain 3 life and survival 3, okay? Restore target enchantment or counter target creature spell. Okay, that's a lot of things to do. Alright. Surveil 3, gain 3 life. That's pretty powerful in the mid game, late game. Restore target enchantment, not bad against white mostly. Or some other cards, I guess. But counter target creature spell. If you can do that. If you really gotta play it, you pay 3, you gain 3, surveil 3. But counter target creature spell is huge, and this is like very hard to cast Mystic Snake. A much bigger Mystic Snake. It's 50% more power and toughness. And I don't think it's a bomb, because once you get a mana, it's like a lot of times you are gonna play this for 3 life and 3 because you gotta play something, and that's pretty good. I'm just on a B plus, man. This is the one I like a lot. This one, reverse splashing, is gonna be great. B plus. Actually, you know what? B. I think the 5 mana shark was better in some set. I can't remember which one. That counters creatures or artifacts. And it's a 5 for 5 and it's mono blue. So just a B. I think it's really good. But if your mana is not good, your mana really needs to support this.
Kotis, Fangkeeper. The Fangkeeper. 1 black, green, blue, 4 mana total for a legendary creature zombie warrior. It's a 2/1 with indestructible. When Kotis deals combat damage to a player, exile the top X cards of their library, where X is the amount of damage dealt. You may cast any number of spells with mana value X or less from among them without paying their mana cost. So you cast this. It's an incredible blocker on the ground. I mean, this will just block anything. No condition on attacking, and I really don't think it's that difficult to add counters on this and get through. Like, this is an amazing counter target to stack up on. Without help, kind of whatever. But the fact that, you know, you get there hopefully on turn 4, and it actually really helps you survive, means I like this card a decent amount. So this is a B for me.
A B? Fuck. You really need to put counters on this. Like, this card being a 2/1 indestructible, that's shit. That is really bad. Right?
Yep.
Like, really, really, really bad. So you really need to work to make this card better.
I think you have to work, and the work is a common thing in these colors.
Yeah, that is also true. Dice to black removal. You can remove it with white and so on. So there's time for them to like negate your work as well. It's gotta be damage to a player as well, so they need to have something smaller than you. So they can work to block it. I think it's bad. I think this card is just bad. This is 4 mana. You're always splashing for it. Very small body. Needs a lot of work. And opponent has a lot of time to be fine with your work, so you kind of don't do much with the work. So I don't like it. I think it's poo-poo. I'm gonna give it a D+. Very cool card. I'm probably always picking it in the first like few weeks. Probably always gonna pick this in the first few weeks. But I have a hard time believing it's gonna be... But it's a lot of fun. I'm gonna pick this card. Lotus Light Dancers for... Oh, for 2 and a black and a green and a blue. That's 5 mana. 3/6 lifelink. When this creature enters, search your library for a black card, a green card, and a blue card. Put those cards into your graveyard, then shuffle. Wait a second. When I first read this card, I thought this was the most broken thing ever. I thought for some reason you put it into your hand, and I was like, what the hell did I just do? Oh. Okay, let's I gotta chill out. So this card compared to the thing that I was thinking about looks like garbage, but it's not garbage. It's not garbage. It's not garbage at all. I just thought it was the best card in the set or something. But it's not the best card in the set. It's still good, like 3/6 lifelink. You always gotta splash for it though, and you get renew, but your deck becomes worse. What happens if you, every time you're searching and you don't have cards in your library, even if you do, you cannot find the card. Okay, editor. You don't have to find the card. I gotta pet her for not barking. You talk about the card.
I mean, yeah, this is a ton of value. It's really easy to just have anything with renew. I don't think you're gonna have to work hard for this at all. This is a B+ for me.
B+? Why don't you have to... what do you mean work for it? Why?
You don't have to work for all your cards are just gonna have renew.
Yeah, right. You don't have to work for this, but you are making your deck weaker. And you do get a 5 mana
For immediate access to effects.
3/6 lifelinker is pretty good though. I'm gonna be on a B. Just on a B for this one, because you are making a deck worse. But I think it's good. I think it's pretty damn good. And by the way, blue, black, green, these cards, multicolored cards are all of those colors. Multicolored cards are multiple colors, so you can search for those.
Yeah, inevitable defeat. 1 red, white, black, instant. Spell can't be countered. Exile target non-land permanent, and his controller loses 3 life. You gain 3 life. Yeah, that's a big life swing. that's a big life swing, and a nice catch-all answer. This is a lovely card. This is also a B+ for me. I'm happy to splash.
Yeah, but I think in Mardu colors, I mean, it's still good, right? I cannot give B+. I think, man, you're being too lenient. Like 1 for 1, and this is a huge life drain, but it's in 3 colors. It's not that easy to play 3. It's not gonna be that easy to play them that it's a B+, right? Like, you would give this a B+ if it was mono white. 3 and a white, right? You would not give it an A grade.
If it was mono white?
This was 3 and a white. It's 3 and a white. You
would be really close to an A.
This would be an A?
It would be really close to an A-, I think. I mean, that's such a huge swing in combat, especially.
Yeah, so...
Hit a blocker attack, die.
It cannot be that a 3-color card, when it switches to like white, that it's like either the same grade or close to upper grade. That doesn't make sense.
I mean, it depends on the set. I think fundamentally, I'm feeling that it's a little bit easier to hit 3 colors maybe than you do, but could be wrong about that.
But it is Mardu. No, I think it's very easy, but it's also Mardu. And it's also a real cost, right? Makes the deck more inconsistent. I'm
Crazy
gonna B for
still.
This is amazing. Yeah, this is amazing. I'm gonna give it a B because 3 colors, but amazing card. Mardu Siegebreaker for 1 and a red and a white and a black. It's a 4/4 death touch haste. When this creature enters, exile up to one target creature you control until this creature leaves the battlefield. Whenever this creature attacks, for each opponent, create a tapped token that's a copy of the exiled card, attacking that opponent. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice those tokens. That's pretty cool. Because that creature is gonna come back. You could have Endure on those cards. If you have Endure, that gets crazy. Alright, this is really good, I think. I think this is really good. That touch haste. Probably gonna be 5 mana, 6 a lot of times when you play it. Maybe 4. It can be 4 definitely in this set. If you have something, then there's... But also it's like, you have a big creature, it's fine to exile it and continue attacking. Because if they kill... Because then that other creature is not gonna die ever. Or like a medium-sized creature that would trade. Yeah, I'm okay with this thing. I'm gonna be on a B. I love this card.
Yeah, B as well. This card is really good.
Aga.
Thunder of Unity.
Ooh.
Red, white, black for a saga. Chapter 1. You draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. Chapter 2 and 3. Whenever a creature you control enters this turn, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. A little rough for 3 mana. I understand you do recoup some of the life, etc. when you hit chapters 2 and 3, but it's not crazy amount unless you like have a really, really good mobilize turns.
And you draw 2 extra
But
cards.
yeah, so you can set that up nicely, right? Like the idea, I guess, even if you're empty-handed, you can draw your mobilize card in the first chapter, develop it for the second chapter, and then, you know, attack and mobilize. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I think this is like a C minus.
I think it's pretty good. Especially with mobilize and a lot of smaller groups. Because this second effect and third effect, like that's for 2 extra turns.
Yeah, 2 extra turns is actually a lot, having 2 chapters.
A lot, yeah. I'm on a C plus for this one at least. I think it's gonna be maybe a B minus. But C plus for now. The last Mardu card is Zurgo Thunder's Decree. For a red, white, and black. This is, by the way, can you hear her chomping? I gave her like some like that kind of plastic bone. It's not plastic, but that bone that looks like a plastic bone. So tell me if you can hear her. Zurgo Thunder's Decree. For red, white, and black, it's a 2/4 with mobilize 2. During your end step, warrior tokens you control have this token cannot be sacrificed? That's pretty cool. Definitely not a B minus or an A minus. You guys are wild. They are 1/1s, so they can die very easily. The body is weak because it's not a 3 mana body. It's more than 3. So it doesn't attack well on itself by its own. So you need a lot of mobilize. I don't think you have that much mobilize that they're gonna survive that easily. When this dies, the tokens that survived on the previous turns stay around. So I don't think this is that good. It needs too much support for a 3-color card. On its own, it's not much. So I'm giving this a C minus. What do you think, Scotty? Cool
C minus?
Yeah, cool card. Maybe C minus is too high, but yeah.
Oh, I'm like way higher on this, I think.
Yeah?
I understand that there's difficulties and conditions that need to be met in order to make this work. I mean, I'm only on like a C plus, but I really don't think it's that difficult to find a spot to put this in to get some additional value. And if you get any additional value, it's quite strong. I understand it's 3 colors. I understand there are some hoops to jump through, but between removal, concocting combat tricks, etc., I think your average Mardu deck will be able to utilize Zurgo as a powerful card. So I'm on a C plus.
I don't think so, because they're like they can just block the tokens. And the thing is, like, tokens stick around if Zurgo dies. No, they don't. They stick around only if they lived for a turn already.
I'm hoping that your average Mardu deck will have plenty of ways to punish token blocking. I'm hoping, but we'll see.
I just want my 3-color cards to be really good without other things. Especially like tokens getting death touch. Now that's something that they actually get through.
Yep.
On a 4/4. On a freaking 4/4. Like, this is so small. We can agree that this is very small for its mana cost. Right?
2/4, yeah, it's small.
Very small.
Are we still on the last card, or are we on Eshki Dragon?
We're on
last card, right?
Tiho?
Okay, Zurgo.
Tigo.
Sure.
We're on Zurgo, yeah. Go ahead, Tigo. Okay, I just think every other. You go next.
I mean, yeah, I really like casting it post combat. Just getting any sort of value off of it. Seems fine to me. Seems like a fine card. Eshki Dragonclaw, 1 green, blue, red for 4 mana, 4/4, legendary human warrior. Vigilance Trample Ward 1. At the beginning of combat in your turn, if you cast both a creature and a non-creature spell this turn, draw a card and put 2 +1/+1 counters on Eshki Dragonclaw. Yeah, kind of interesting. So I think this is easier condition to fill out than it seems because of Harmonize. Harmonize on non-creatures specifically. So if you cast a creature and then you can even use that creature that you just cast or Ashki to Harmonize, I think this condition is not actually that hard for Teamer. I think it's pretty good. I'm going to give it a B-. Not super overstated for a 3-color card, but it's powerful and I don't think super inconsistent.
Yeah, sure. What do you give it?
B-.
Okay, with Harmonize it's easier, right?
Yeah.
It's garbage if you don't do this. It is just not good. I'm gonna give it a C+. Because it does require help from hand. That's a problem. But then it becomes like a 6/6 with draw card. That's crazy when you do it. So C+. All of these cards get better when you have more fixing. I think fixing is gonna be great. I'm just not sure how good. Because it's not free. Tap lands, it's maybe 2 mana to fetch for something. It's not just free. Man, I love the sagas. Oh, I love it when the set has sagas, especially when they're uncommon. Roar of the Endless Song. For 2 and a green and a blue and a red. First step, you create a 5/5. Second step, you create another 5/5. Third step, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until the end of turn. Hello! Hello! This is 2 5/5s. Okay. And then, boom, they're 10/10s. And everything else is huge. That's a bomb. This ends games. I think this might be... This is probably going to be the top 3 cards of the set. I really don't care. This is a costs 3 different types. I'm actually just giving this an A+.
Sick.
What?
I mean, this card's incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's 10/10 for 5 mana. And this card is super duper strong.
Gonna be 20/20 and even more on the third step.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm giving this an A.
Yeah.
Songcrafter Mage. Songcrafter Mage is green, blue, red. For a human bard, 3/2 with flash. When this creature enters, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains Harmonize until end of turn. Its Harmonize cost is equal to its mana cost. The joke here is that you can use this card immediately to harmonize the card that you target. So if you target a 5 mana removal spell, for example, the red, the common deal damage card, it technically only costs 2 because you can tap this and that, and pay 2 mana, additional mana to cast that. So it's fine. It's nice little bit of value, but a little bit conditional, a couple hoops to jump through. For me, B-.
I think the blue, mono blue, 3-drop, that's a 3/2, is way better. You just exile a creature and get that instant sorcery back to play it at any point of the game. I think that's way better. And some spells are gonna be like 2-color, 3-color spells, so that's gonna be very hard to do. Actually, kind of interesting with like those 3-color spells that you can pay 2 mana for that. Because then you can just reduce that to 0 even sometimes. 3 mana is a bit too much for conditionality. 3 mana, I need it to just be great right away. So new Snapcaster. I don't know. It is maybe for constructed, I guess. So I'm
it's
actually...
literally. Yeah.
What?
I mean, it's clearly named after Snapcaster.
that yeah. That's true. I'm actually on a C- for this one. Too much conditionality for my 3-color card.
All right, you talked me down to C+. Let's go.
Teamer Battle Crier for a green. This is the last teamer, rare, and then on to mythics. For green, a blue, and a red, it's a 4/3. During your turn, spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. These are literally all the spells, so that's pretty cool. There are those 3-color instants, sorceries, creatures that you can pay 2 mana for them, so now they're cheaper if you have multiple creatures. This is an extremely small body for this mana cost. It stacks, but I don't think it matters much. I think I'm just giving this a kind of small grade, like a C-.
All right, see, the fact that to get maximum value off of this in terms of having it be really good, I really want to cast this on curve. If you cast this on curve, it's going to feel very strong, but I'm going to average that out to a C.
Makes doubles. Sometimes you play like something with 4 power and another thing, because now it's like 2 less or 3 less.
Yeah. Rules wise, this does work with Harmonize from the graveyard.
Yeah.
It will reduce the cost of Harmonize, yes.
Because
that counts as casting.
Because you're casting the card.
Yep.
Okay. Most of the things are not completely busted, so I like that quite a lot. We got quite a bit of mythics. Multicolor mythics. 3-color multicolor mythics. That's the set. So, let's see. You wanna go, Scotty?
Sure, I'll go. Betor, kin to all. 2 white, black, green. For a legendary creature, Spirit Dragon. It's a 5/7 with flying. At the beginning of your end step, if creatures you control have total toughness 10 or greater, draw a card. Then, if creatures you control have total toughness 20 or greater, untap each creature you control. Then, if creatures you control have total toughness 40 or greater, each opponent loses half their life, rounded up.
40.
So I'm not super concerned with 40. 20 is hard to reach, and the effect is good, but I'm not counting it that much for the effect or for the value of this card. But toughness 10 is easy. Toughness 10, I fully expect to hit the turn it comes down, because all I need is like a 3/3.
Yeah.
A 3/3, cast this, draw a card. 10 is easy.
1/3.
And drawing a card on top of a huge body is very strong. I think this card is great, worth the splash. For me, this is a B+.
Yeah, I would say this is a B+ as well. This is 10 is like nothing. You just need basically anything else. Very worth it, and you're gonna keep drawing these cards. And 5/7 flying is nothing is big. Oh, there's a 7/7 reach in green, but it doesn't.
At common.
At common, but that reach doesn't draw you a card every single turn. Perenation for 3 and a white and a black and a green. So there's gonna be 10 of these then, right? Yeah. Or maybe, yeah, I think actually 11. I don't understand why, but okay. Perenation for 3 white, black, and green. Return sorcery speed. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a hexproof counter and an indestructible counter on it. Okay. This is interesting. So, you get that green 7/7. That's kind of wild. That 7/7/4. The 7/7 indestructible. The 7/7 reach indestructible hexproof. Okay, there's a lot of milling, so I'm actually kind of okay with this card. In this set where it's much easier to splash. And then you can stack counters on that card. It's already a bomb, but you can stack counters on it. Okay, this is gonna be irritating. I'm actually gonna do this. I'm gonna give this oh, it's hard. I'm gonna give this a C+. I'm a believer. I'm a believer in this card.
Okay, apparently I'm way more of a believer. I'm giving this a B+.
Oh, B+?
Yeah, I mean, even the scenario of bringing back a common, I think it's very, very strong. You know, like, obviously it has to hit the graveyard. There is a hoop to jump through, but I think the payoff is there. So
too much excellent removal. This is hexproof, and indestructible.
Yep.
Nothing can target this.
So
B+.
I'm in B+. I will first pick this and
I'm gonna first pick
at
this
least
as
convince
well.
myself it's correct.
Okay.
Jeskai Revelation 4 blue, red, white, 7 mana for an instant. Return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. Jeskai Revelation deals 4 damage to any target. Create 2 1/1 white monk creature tokens with prowess. Draw 2 cards. You gain 4 life. Yeah, I mean, I want to play this.
This is great, Scotty.
I want to play this, and it's worth the splash, and it's catches you up a lot when you cast this. So this is also very splashable, even if you're only 2 of these colors. Like, I'm okay going 4 colors for this. I believe. I don't think it would be that difficult to hit by this time, and I think it does do a very, very, very good job of catching you back up. So B+ for me as well.
You know what's super interesting? To me at least, there are those 1-drops and 2-drops that fix your mana while they're live, right? So when you have them, it's easier to cast your 3-drops, 4-drops that are multicolored, but they don't make it much easier to cast your 6-drops, 7-drops. Why is that so interesting to me? Because usually when you have something for 7 mana that's 3 colors, it's like, okay, nice, when I have 7 mana, that's where I'm gonna have that mana. That is true if the mana comes from lands, treasures, or something like that. But if it's coming from small creatures that need to survive, then you're not gonna have it. So it's gonna be very interesting decks that play a lot of these filters, the devotees that filter your mana. They're gonna want probably smaller things. But then it's gonna be interesting, when do you trade those cards off? If you're only fixing, or do you wait until you get something else? But it's like, I think this is crazy, Scotty. This is like, Creator of Behemoth can get out of here. Like, of course this is 7 mana, it doesn't matter, it's 3 colors really. So what are you doing? 4 damage to any target. Okay, you kill 1 creature, that's one thing you're doing for the board. Create 2 1/1s, let's say that's the second thing you're doing for the board with prowess. Bounce something, that's the third thing that you're doing for the board. Anything they play on the stack, anything that they have. So you're gaining a ton of mana, kinda, by playing this. So that's worth it. And then you get back, because you're playing a 7-drop that needs to be splashed, by drawing 2 extra cards, so you're 1 card ahead with everything that's happening on the board, and you gain 4 life. So you get a lot of tempo with 3 effects, and then you get a lot of value with 1, 2, 3 effects. Kinda does it all. I think this is a bomb, Scotty. I think this is an A-. And then there's that blue card and the Jeskai card that puts spells on top. So this can be your deal.
I can feel you salivating. I can hear it in your voice.
Oh, I am. There's a lot of saliva happening right now. Next up, we have Shiko, Paragon of the Way. Do you think this is comparable to the Creator of Behemoth?
That card?
Yeah.
I think it's a little better.
You kind of, and it's instant speed, by the way.
Yep.
Like, of course, it's instant speed because of the first effect, but you do all of this like when they don't expect it at all.
Yeah, I mean, you could pass the turn with 7 mana up and do it when they don't expect it, or you could just cast a spell on your turn and win the game immediately.
And win, a lot of times you do, yeah. Wow. Chico, Paragon of the Way. For 2 and a blue and a red and a white. It's a 4/5, Flying Vigilance. No, what? Give the last card an A for me. I think it's gonna be one of the best performing cards in the set. I think you'll win a lot of times when you play it. And 7 mana is so much easier than 8. It is incredibly easier.
It is. It's a lot easier.
A lot easier. So,
I mean, I think, well, if you want to, so obviously we can talk about it briefly, but formats have context, right? Always, and that shapes things way more than we can even speculate from this point. But it does remind me of, Crimson Vow, when we just were like maybe not as high as we should have been on the 7 mana bombs, but they're game warping when they're cast. Like, you can fall behind and catch up immediately by casting this card. So it's very, 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 very good. Shiko, Paragon of the Way. 2 blue, red, white, 5 mana for a legendary creature, Spirit Dragon. It's a 4/5 with flying and vigilance. When Shiko enters, exile target non-land card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard. Copy it, then you may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Yeah, this is nice. This is a nice bit of value. You can, like, the Jeskai suggests like non-creature spells, but you can just get a creature. You can just get a 3-drop and put it straight back into play. This is a lovely card, solid body, great value. I think this is a B+.
You don't have the filters on me, right?
I don't have a what?
Filters on me. You have it. Ah,
Filters?
sorry.
I don't have any.
Sorry, is the dog loud?
Well, I mean,
too loud. Dog barking.
I have a limiter.
Oh, okay, you have a limiter. Okay, that's better. So, what grade did you give this?
B+. It's really good.
Yeah, this is really good. Do need to have something there, but yeah, I'm okay with a B+. I like this. Okay, next up, it's time for Sultai. That begets life. For 5 black, green, and blue. That's 8 mana. Destroy all creatures and enchantments. Draw a card for each permanent destroy this way. Too much. That's too much to pay. That is too much to pay. I think this is pretty bad. I'm on a D.
I'll go D-. Not in.
Mana.
Nope, not in. I think it's legitimately. First of all, it doesn't affect the board after you do this, right? Sure, you get value, but legitimately, it's can be uncastable on some boards in the late game, which is miserable because you're just gonna die. So wrecked. And then you actually have to finish the game after you cast this, and then your opponent could also just continue developing. Gosh, yeah, I think this is a horrible card, horrible Magic card. Teval, Arbiter of Virtue. 2 black, green, blue. For a legendary creature, Spirit Dragon, it's a 6/6 with flying and lifelink. Spells you cast have Delve. Whenever you cast a spell, you lose life equal to its mana value. Spicy.
Spicy, spicy.
This is spicy.
Yeah.
Woo! This could be. If you never cast a spell again, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Because 6/6 flying lifelink for 5 mana is incredible. Incredible. That's a heck of a downside. However, I think it's worth it. I do think this card is good. I'm going to give this a B. Specifically because, yeah, you can hit once with it. And the Delve part is nothing to sneeze at in terms of how much mana advantage you can get out of this. So, I am kind of okay taking this highly. I think it's powerful. So I'm going to give it a B.
Also green mills. I mean 6/6 freaking flying lifelink. Sure. Buja, tijo. Tijo. I'm giving this a B plus actually. And we can go to the next one. You read it, please.
Yeah. We're just gonna bell strike that dragon. It's gonna be great. All out assault. 2 red, white, black for an enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and have death touch. When this enchantment enters, if it's your main phase, they're in an additional combat phase after this, followed by an additional main phase. When you next attack this turn, untap each creature you control. So just like Full Throttle, you can cast this post-combat. However, you probably don't want to do that because you're missing out on the +1/+1 effect. So you're probably casting this in main phase 1, getting +1/+1 death touch. An Anthem effect for 5 mana is kind of expensive. However, because everything has death touch, at least it means you're going to have some amount of attack, some amount of pretty good attacks. The death touch part is actually massive on this, in my opinion. Massive. Because it would be a disaster if you didn't have clean attacks when you cast this. Because you do want to cast this on turn 5, right? So that, you can have this static effect throughout the rest of the game. And it's just kind of sort of nice that you get some amount of damage through. So I think it's decent. I think it's pretty decent. It's a little expensive. I'm going to give this a B-.
I mean, it's also the mobilized tokens, right?
Yep.
And these mobilized tokens don't die.
On the next attack step, so you get to double that one, yes.
You get to double the mobilize if they don't kill your mobilized creature. What do you give it?
B minus.
I think it's really good. I think this is a great. Like this is maybe, this is an amazing finisher for Mardo. I think. I'm giving this. This is just. I'm giving this an A minus, Scotty. I think this is a bomb. I think this is most of the time it's gonna end the game for Mardo. Getting double of those tokens, mobilized tokens, is wild.
It's an incredibly powerful effect and I do think that the death touch mitigates the situations where it wouldn't normally be as good. I do think it's kind of hard to play this and have it not be strong, you know. For example, like let me argue against myself here because I am raising the grade. Um, if you're behind, right? You cast this on 5 mana, you attack with your creatures, and then you just don't attack again, and now you have a bigger board to block with because it's an anthem. That's like not even that bad. That's like kind of good. So even if you have creatures, period, but you're behind, I still think it's solid. I still think it's pretty stinking solid.
But
For
I think
example,
also,
if you're behind and you have mobilized cards, you know, you attack with your mobilized cards, you attack with the tokens again because they're going to die, but you leave your mobilizers back. Not bad. That's still a pretty good situation. I'll move to B plus.
I think that there's a large chance that you're just not behind most of the time when you play this.
Yep.
So yeah, this
Like
is,
I do. Sorry.
yeah.
I do have a prediction that there to me seems like a pretty big difference in terms of what Mardu and some to a lesser extent Jeskai wants to do in this format rather than the other color combinations where I think that Mardu does have an advantage of maybe relying on the fact that they're going to be ahead a vast majority of the time because like all the other color combinations seem like noticeably slower to me. So that if you're curving out with Mardu and your opponents are like playing tap land, right? You're pretty reliably ahead. So that might boost up all the cards that seem like they're only good when you're attacking. You know, like that 4 mana red enchantment that you're higher on than I am. The one that creates additional mobilized token.
Yeah, exactly. But
Like that card, I might just be super wrong about that because like Mardu may just reliably be ahead against 4 out of 5 decks.
And you're getting 2-1 every turn with that one. Is
Yep.
just an extra. Okay.
You gain 2-1. I mean, and like you gain 2 damage on them. Well, whatever. It's fine.
There's like more of something. Oh, there's this like, why is there 11? Because there's a 5 mana card. Wait. Next up, the last Mardu card, the last Mardu mythic. Neri, Heart of the Storm. For 1 and a red and a white and a black, it's a 4/5 flyer. If a creature you control had that entered this turn would deal damage, it deals twice that much damage instead. Haste, I guess, but mobilize. 4/5 flyer, that's kind of good. That's okay, but it's like these colors. It's basically mobilized creatures dealing a lot more. And how much haste is there? There is not a lot of haste. But also there is that wild ride, right? That gives +3/+0 haste.
Wild ride on this. Let's go.
That is 14 damage on this, yeah. This is fine. It's okay. It's a good dragon, makes mobilize a little bit better. I think I'm 3 colors though, so I'm gonna be on a C+.
I'll go B minus. Big dragon. Me likey.
Okay.
Okay. Dragon back assault. 3 green, blue, red for an enchantment. When this enchantment enters, it deals 3 damage to each creature in each planeswalker. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. All right. You can make an argument of like, hey, how many lands you're going to play after you play your 6-drop, but the answer is it doesn't need that many. You could just play a couple, and you have eight worth of flying dragons. This card is strong, in my opinion. Can catch you up a little bit, right? Like for me, I want my 6 mana cards to catch me up as balancing for having an expensive card in my hand. But yeah, I like this a decent amount. So I'm also going to give this a B plus.
B plus. Also,
It's
but
very good.
Didn't you give this a B minus? Not also a B plus. Also, like some cards that you gave in a set or what? Okay. No response from Scotty. No response from Scotty.
I literally cannot hear what you're saying.
You said you're also gonna give it a B plus. I'm just making fun of you. Like also like what? Last
Oh
card was
yeah. No,
B
I
minus.
just don't you worry. I don't know how to speak English.
Okay. For you, it's speak, right? Because you're a native English
It's what?
speaker. This has nothing to do with
No,
English.
it makes me worse at English. Do you think me intelligent? Me no words.
You know words, and you know it. I like this, but the problem is landfall after 4th. Landfall after 6 mana is hard. So then you gotta get to 7 or 8 for this to be good. Worth ramping into. Kills a lot of things. I think I'm just gonna be on a... Oh my god, this with a green enchantment. Oh my god, Oxidance. Scotty.
Oh yeah, it triggers it.
Jesus.
It triggers it, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, that's on my bucket list. I need to do that. I'm giving this a C, Scotty.
I think it is a little rough when you're going to be staring at this on turn 6 and your opponent has multiple X4s. It's going to feel real bad.
You're gonna be killing your creatures as well, I guess.
Yep.
Oh my god. So for 4 mana you ramp into this, and then you play a land, you get it back, that enchantment back, you get 2 more dragons. Oh, that's pretty cool. Urani, the song unending. Alright, we got a 5, green, blue, and red. That's 8 mana. It's a 10-10. Flying, protection from white and black. When this guy enters, he deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers your opponents control, where X is the number of lands you control. Oh man. That's worth ramping into and doesn't need any help except you just need to play it. But it's 8 man. This is game ending when you play it though. This is definitely game ending. Like no matter what the board is, you're probably winning with this one. This one is worth ramping into as opposed to the Behemoth. I mean, Behemoth is worth ramping into, but this one just like it doesn't care about how the board looks. You are doing it. But it's 8 mana, and that's why I'm giving it a B minus.
I don't think it's that hard. B plus. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Yep.
And the last card in the set.
Just play 18 lands. It's fine. You'll be fine.
I hope. But the last card in the set.
Oh, Craterhoof was a D. Yeah. Call the Spirit Dragons. White, blue, black, red, green. Wooburg enchantment. Dragons you control have indestructible. At the beginning of your upkeep for each color, put a +1/+1 counter on a dragon you control of that color. If you put +1/+1 counters on 5 dragons this way, you win the game. Whoa. D minus.
I mean, dragons you control have indestructible. Some dragons are... Wait, those uncommon dragons that have omens in different colors, are they multicolored?
No, I think they're just the top color.
Okay.
Yeah, they're monocolor. I mean, I don't. You don't care about that, do you?
No, I'm just thinking a little bit. Some dragons are 3 colors, so you can put 3 +1/+1 counters on that dragon, on a 3-color dragon, like 3 counters. And all of them have indestructible. I mean, there are a lot of dragons in this set.
I think this is hard carried by the green common.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on a D.
And when I say, okay,
And this is actually playable in the set. But there is common enchantment removal. The problem is, man, no, this is garbage. I'm gonna D minus. This is no ETB. I mean, better in this set.
I wish this were better.
It needs an ETB, right, Scotty?
I want this to be better when you cast it. And I guess the ETB. Well, the ETB is that your dragons have indestructible.
But you need the dragons.
How do you think about that?
Yeah, it's kind of weak ETB. I'm on a D minus. Yeah, we're gonna probably try to play it, but yeah, not good. Not very good.
I mean, I agree it's castable. But I just don't think it's that strong for the hoop you have to jump through.
We have the ultimatums. Like, are we gonna just put in the? We can just put in the grades, right? We already.
Oh, you don't want to talk about them?
These are the old cards, right? Unless there's something special to talk about.
No, not really. Wow. Inspired Ultimatum is so much worse than the new Jeskai card. It's insane.
It is insane. It is insane.
Oh, that new Jeskai card is blows Ultimatum out of the water.
Yeah.
Wow. So sad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Eerie Ultimatum, what do you give it? Return any hard to cast. Return any number of permanent cards from different games from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Like a C.
See, that's high.
Yeah, I mean it can really finish games.
They're also like renewing
it's
a
a pretty
lot.
strong board affecting one.
Aren't you renewing like a lot?
Yes, that makes it worse, doesn't it?
And double white, triple black, double green as well.
Yeah.
I'm on a D minus.
Okay. D minus. Okay. I'll go C minus.
Card Ultimatum. Target player gains 5 life. It deals 5 damage to any target, and then you draw 5 cards. It's really cool that these are in the set, by the way. For 7 mana card, I don't think it's enough. I'm on a D. D for this one.
Okay, I'm on D plus for this one.
Okay. Oh, an all-star. You want to read it?
Which is this emergent? Which one are we at?
Emergent, yeah.
Emergent Ultimatum. Yeah. Search your library for up to 3 monocolor cards with different names and exile them. An opponent chooses one of those cards, shuffle that card into your library. You may cast the other cards without paying their mono cost. Exile or Emergent Ultimatum. This is an F.
Yep. The power of this card was that you got the game finishing cards, so they have no good choice really. But an F, you don't have this in limited. You have your good cards, so whatever. Ruinous Ultimatum for double red, triple white, and double black. Destroy all non-land permanents your opponent's control. Okay, this wins the game, kinda. But it's in the wrong colors. These colors are pretty fast. Then I want to play this. I think this card is a D minus because of that.
Okay, C minus.
Okay.
Genesis Ultimatum. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put any number of permanent cards from among them onto the battlefield and the rest into your hand. Exile Genesis Ultimatum. Yeah, you're still not getting the value here for 7 mana. This is a D for me. This is probably the more castable of the ultimatums, though, I guess.
Yeah, but for 7 mana, like, you might not even get 7 mana. Is the problem. Like, just playing a 6-drop is crazy more powerful than this. So I'm actually on an F for this one. I think there's never gonna be a case where this is better than just playing a high-cost creature. So just an F. Next up, we got fetch lands.
You're probably right.
There we go. Fetch lands, right? We got 5 of them for 5 main color pairs in this set. And the enemy color pairs. Wait, these are not enemy color pairs. Wait, blue.
They're all enemy color pairs.
Oh yeah, they are all enemy. Blue red is not next to each other. It's late. Yeah, these are worse than the tap lands, I think. You lose life and you're not getting, for limited purposes, you're not getting your dual lands or 3 lands, right? Because those are not basic land type. I mean, they're not of forest island type and such. I think these are just like, sure. Helps you fix, why not? It's a C minus.
I mean, I have a tough time believing that statement, but I do give them the same grades as the tap lands.
I prefer tap lands because you just get both of the lands every single time. And you need... Yeah?
I like untap lands.
Okay. Alright, same. It's good. They're always going to be good if you're playing those colors, right? But I don't think they're high picks. I think Evolving Wilds is better as an early pick before you know what you are.
Oh my gosh.
before you know what you are. I'm said before you know what you are.
Sure. Oh, yeah, okay.
Now you can't say oh my gosh for half a sentence. You know how many things sound weird and
oh my gosh.
even perverse with half a sentence. That's it, guys. We are done with
Oh my gosh.
Tarkir set. Oh my gosh, we're done with Tarkir set review. It's been like 10 hours. I've also went outside without the key, so we had to wait for me, I guess.